So I came across this comment on one of my posts. I want us to calm down and look at this comment. So let's go. The comment says, Vdm is a manipulator. He's a chameleon. He's not to be trusted. Was once his fan, but coming down and analyzing all about him and how he handles cases, I realize who he truly is. Believe all he says at your own risk. Listen, I'm really excited that some of our activities here are beginning to open people's eyes. Some of our activities here are beginning to open people's eyes to very dark man's manipulations. They are beginning to open people's eyes to very dark man's hypocrisy. See, I suggest that being a very dark man's fan should be added to a psychological disorder. Like, I am suggesting that being a Ratel should be considered a mental disorder. I mean, how can you be a fan of someone who doesn't care about your opinion? How can you be a fan of someone who sees you as an animal and who calls you an animal like he called you an animal in this post? Look at this video.
Animal, you people look like an animal. You people act like an animal.
He says that you are an animal, that all of you act like animals. Now, you are a fan of someone who calls you an animal and you tell me that you don't have mental disorder? You tell me that you are not mentally unstable? I am really happy that people are beginning to see through very dark man's hypocrisy, and they are beginning to see through very dark man's mundane and archaic manipulations. How can you call yourself a fan of someone like that? How can you call yourself a fan of someone who doesn't see your opinions, who doesn't care about your opinions? If he's wrong, he wants you to accept accept him even in his wrongdoings. When he's going astray, he wants you to believe him the moment he's going astray. Now, you are a fan of someone and you cannot be critical in your thinking. You call yourself someone's fan and you cannot use your common senses to analyze issues on your own without having very dark man think for you. Now, you call yourself very dark man's fan and you don't sit down to ask yourself some critical questions that a sensible and reasonable human being should ask himself. Have you asked yourself, has there been any case that very dark man followed to a logical conclusion? There has never been a single case that this young guy has followed to a logical conclusion. Mention one case. Mention one case he has followed to a logical conclusion. He came in this country and told us that Mohbad's wife killed Mohbad, that it was Wunmi that killed Mohbad. Up to today, we never see one single evidence from very dark man. In fact, what's the conclusion of that case? Now, Vdm came and told us that he has evidence that it was Wunmi that killed Mohbad, that he will reel out evidences to nail Wunmi. Till date, we haven't seen any evidence from very dark man, and that case has still not been concluded. Even the police at a point said that if you are a member of the public and you have any information that could link us to what's happened to Mohbad, please bring it on. That was a good opportunity for very dark man to take those evidences he claimed to have to the police to nail Wunmi. Did he do it? Of course, he only made his social media noise and it ended here. Till date, they never bury Mohbad. Till date, no justice for Mohbad. You talk say you know people who kill Mohbad, say you go expose them. Till date, you don't jump. In fact, what this guy does is that he just creates contents and jumps on trending topics. From this top, you go to handle one matter. That matter, you never conclude them. Another trending matter come up. You leave and jump on that one. You talk say you dey fight for the public. Which public you dey fight for? Bro, you're fighting for your pocket. You dey create content because, okay, this guy now, they follow up on Harrison's case. Now, he don't drop Harrison's case. He don't dey talk about students where they may abandon for Morocco. Even though I know that this government, that these people in government are stupid. These people in government are just, these people they don't care about Nigerians. They don't care about us. Yeah, we understand that. All of us know that they don't care about us. We've been speaking about their atrocities. We've been speaking about the negligence, how they've been neglecting people in this country. We understand that the APC government is a criminal government. We understand that politicians in this country are ruining this country. Good and fine. But very dark man. See, he was talking about Harrison's case. Now he has abandoned Harrison's case. he don't jump on another case of students with them abandoned for Morocco. As expected, the very dark man is also not gonna follow this case to a logical conclusion. As he don't come social media, use them, create content, it ends there. As long as he's making his social media money, it ends there. How far with Harrison where he talks about a kidnapper? I mean, Harrison is a kidnapper, according to you. Now, you've been able to find one kidnapper in a country that so many kidnappers exist. Please, very dark man, why not assist the police to unmask Harrison so that we will know that one of our problems, which is Harrison, has been found guilty and imprisoned? Why can't you do that? Abi, your own to only come create content. If you create content, if another trending matter come, you go leave them, jump on another trending matter. Why is it that you haven't followed any case to a logical conclusion? So have you seen why I said that people who follow very dark man are supposed to be considered, or people who call themselves very dark man's fan, or if you are a Ratel, it is supposed to be considered a mental disorder? Have you seen why I said that? Because how can somebody who's sensible follow this person in one case? The case was not concluded. You follow this person in second case. The second case was not concluded. You follow this person to a third case. The third case was not concluded. You follow this guy to multiple cases and none of them was concluded. Yet, you still call yourself this person's fan. Very dark man is not solving any problem in this society as long as I am concerned. As long as any reasonable human is concerned, this guy is not solving any problem. Do you know what it means to solve a problem? What it means to solve a problem is that, oh, I found a kidnapper. Harrison is a kidnapper. You assisted the government in unmasking this person and this person ends up in jail as a kidnapper. No, he doesn't do that. His own is just to come here, he shouts, he makes noise, he blackmails people without any single result. There has never been any case that Very Dark Man followed to a logical conclusion. Now, how can you not tell me that that's solving a problem? That's not solving a problem. That's a public menace. That's a public menace. That's not solving a problem. Do you know what it means to solve a problem? To solve a problem means that you unmasked a kidnapper or you unmasked a murderer and that murderer was arrested, that murderer was imprisoned. Or that kidnapper was arrested and that kidnapper was imprisoned. Which kidnapper where Vdm don't expose will finally end up in jail? Tell me person where Very Dark Man don't expose we don't end up in jail. Just mention one person. Anyways, make I just, in fact, with time, I don't want to make I just they talk much, but with time, when I go no say Very Dark Man isn't just a manipulator. He's a nuisance, a public nuisance. I don't even like using the word manipulator because he can't even manipulate me. He can only manipulate people who are daft and stupid. So I don't like using the word manipulator on him because he's not smart enough to be a manipulator. No, he's not smart enough to be a manipulator. How can you call a daft person a manipulator? He's not a manipulator. He's just someone who rises on the ignorance of so many daft, unreasonable, illogical, and insensitive people. That's all. That's all. Anyways, we move. Now me be that hot water where they keep tortoise. Now me be that hot water where they keep tortoise. And latest go here for my hand. Since una no one get brain, I go help una borrow una brain. That's my job this year. That's my duty this year. That's my duty. My duty this year is to help you motherfuckers with a brain. I'm gonna dash you brain. I go dey borrow una brain steady. That's what my job be this year. Throughout this year, I go dey borrow una brain steady.